Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember a couple of videos ago, probably like 20 videos ago, I mentioned that in a short that my MK2 in my Killer Instinct cab was on a constant reset. Um, well, I'll tell you. Let me turn this off here. Let me widen out here. It's going to be tough to see, but fuck it. Let me turn the light back on. This is the 4 meg version, not the 8 meg, where you got to have the daughter board with the extra 4 meg chips to make it up. This is an early revision. Soundboard, everything. I was just gonna play a game because it will run, and it'll run for a couple of hours before a restart. But it was, how do I put this? You never knew when it was gonna happen. It was just random. Well, I just plugged it in, and as soon as you get the first bung on your, which is common on your midway boards, instant reset. It won't even start to load the game. I left it plugged in for like, I don't even know, less than a minute. The first time I went to plug it in, it was bung, and I could hear it. It was starting to load. The screen was starting to fade in, bung, bung, and then nothing, which means it was resetting constantly, like do, without the soundboard even being initiated. So I think, this is only a guess, I think the power supply is taking the shit on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this. I would plug it in to show you that it's doing a constant reset, but you'll have to trust me. It is. I don't want to put it through any more stress than what is happening right now. So I'm going to undo all this, pull the power supply, and rebuild it. Okay, so just before I pull this, tell me you're Canadian without telling me you're Canadian. Robertson screws. So let me find the proper bit for that. This should be, and yes, it is unplugged. Is that the proper bit? Let's check this one. It's easier to check. Is that the right size, Robertson? Okay, let me remove this and I'll be right back. Okay, so just on initial inspection, without taking anything apart, I don't see any bulged caps, and that's kind of scary. And if I'm not mistaken, those look halfway decent. But again, I'm gonna have to tear it down anyways and rebuild it and see what the hell's going on. Yeah, those all look, I mean, they all look okay. I was hoping to see something, especially on the output side, something wrong. I mean, this is the AC side, right? This is your hot side. That's your cold side. Without taking it apart, I'm just assuming. But this is where AC comes in through here, this way, and out. Which is how most arcade power supplies are built. But I don't see anything wrong, and to be honest, it looks really clean from here. So let me tear it down, and we'll go from there. And oh man, even the one way back there looks okay. Not good. Okay, I got the lid off it, and tell me this isn't strange. And I don't remember doing this, but we've got two back-to-back caps on the AC side. So there's your hot side, and there's your cold side, right? The input, the output. That is a 100 microfarad 250 volt, and that's 100 microfarad 200 volt. There's no way back in the day those were like that. Look at the size of that cap compared to that. That's been changed out. And that to me right there, focus, that to me as well looks like it's been changed out. And maybe this one, and maybe this one. And maybe this one. There's way too many different brands going on here. No, somebody's been in here. Oh, maybe this one hasn't been changed, but these two have? These three have, sorry. Look at the way this older cap is. See how it's got the Y? It doesn't have the X? That's indicative of old. That's newer. Right? Older. Newer. And if I'm not mistaken, that right there, that cap, right there, that green and gold one, that's a piece of shit. I can almost guarantee it. This scares me, because now that somebody's been in here, I don't know what the original values were. Now, obviously, I can take this value that should have been this value. So it is off by 50 volts. It is, and you're not supposed to do that. And I'm positive that if I would have changed these caps, I would have put a mark on them. But none, there's no way. I bet you these were changed out. There's way too much different in these caps going on here. I don't know. So let me pull the board out of the bottom here. I'm going to discharge these caps. Again, if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to power supplies and you're not okay with it, be careful, especially since I just had this turned on. These are definitely charged. So on the bottom, if you were to touch the pads underneath, you're getting voltage at least 200, 250 going right through you. If you were to touch both at the same time, Godspeed, sir. Do not fuck with this if you're not sure of what you're doing or how to discharge them. Okay, so absolutely those caps have been changed. Across here and across here. You can see where the bigger cap laid, and somebody put another one there and there. These are the two caps. Now again, don't touch that. Give me an isolated screwdriver here. We might get some sparks, we might not. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me find a nice place to put you. Oh, that's isolated. Not isolated enough anyways. Again, if you're not comfortable with this, do not do it. I mean, we might get nothing. It might have a bleeder resistor on it. I'm just trying to get you to focus way over here. But so what you're going to want to do is to discharge them, you're going to want to bridge across the two. Right? Again, if you're not comfortable, you don't have an isolated screwdriver, do not do this. Especially if you're not comfortable. Okay, so that cap seems to be discharged. Oh, there you go. See? Yeah, that cap's discharged now. See, if that would have went through you. I don't know if you caught that or not, but yeah, that would have went right through you. If you were to accidentally grab that with your bare fingers across those pads, it'd have got you. Okay, so that should be discharged. So, ooh, what do we got going on here? Uh-oh. Yep, what is going on here? And what is that across? The output. Yeah, that's across part of the output. Let me get a better shot of this for you. Look at that. Jesus. So what is that across? That's across that big resistor. Oh, yeah, look at that resistor. Right there. You can tell she's got some... Yeah, she'd been burned. She'd been hot. And that runs literally right up through here. To here, across here. I should have got my stand, but it's okay. Just... You're going to have to bear with me and just listen to what I'm saying. So that resistor there, obviously that's a big resistor, and that's taken off a lot of current off of something for before the output. So let's go into, and let me just double check that it is that resistor. I know it is. So what do we have across here to here? And that goes to here. Okay, good. So from here to so that's ground. And I wonder if that's causing an issue. That's -5. Sorry, that's 12, -5, and 5, and nothing. Back to ground. Come on. That's ground. Oh, that's 12. Oh, so it's through everything. So everything's shorted until it's powered on, huh? I wonder what the fuck we got going on here. What about this right here? Oh, I'm way off. I know I'm way off. You probably can't see. So I was checking between here, here, and an output, and it looks like everything... Jesus, that's bad. That's 5, -5, 12, ground. They're all shorted to this. So everything is shorted until it's powered up. Now, what is this side here? It does. Where does this go? To all of them, again, on the output. That's not to everything. Just ground. That's 12. That's ground. Nothing to -5? Nothing to 5. We've got something funky going on here. Yeah, something's definitely not right in this area. I really didn't want to go through this. Like, I didn't realize the rebuild was going to be this. I literally thought it was going to be something simple where a couple of these caps were going to be bulged and shitty, but not fixing out somebody else's work. See, this is what you get when you don't take care of it before. And I knew better. I knew I should have looked at this a long time ago, but no, I didn't. Now this is going to fucking cost me. Yep. So we should probably replace this. We'll figure out what cap, what output this goes to. That, I am almost guaranteeing that is a piece of shit cap. Like, I mean, worst of the worst. That, on the other hand, looks really high quality. What is that? Oh, no, I'm lying. That's that Chingon. See, yeah, that's a piece of shit, too. This, what is this? Were these... Oh, Samwa? Oh, maybe these are all crap. Except for this. Huh. Here we go into the diagnosing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what the hell they got going on here. I'm going to remove this jumper. Obviously, this side is that resistor. Right? And I'm going to see why they didn't just jump it this way. Why did they jump it this way? There's a massive trace here. And obviously that's because it needs that much to, you can see how here on the trace, not only do they have the trace, but they also have the extra solder on top of it, like this one here, like this one here, and that's just to add extra current capacity to the trace. So I'm going to clean this up, see what happens. Then I'm going to move on to this and clean this up. And maybe while I'm at it, I will try to pay attention, or at least try to figure out if it's brown, black, brown, gold, 20% tolerance. That's got to be 100 ohm, right? Brown, black, brown. I always forget. It's either 10 or 100. But if I have another one, that looks like a... Geez, that looks like a... Oh, what the fuck? Is that cracked? Can you see that? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Oh, I think that resistor has lit... Okay. Let me take care of this. I'm going to remove that resistor, and we're going to take a look at that. That looks rough. Okay, so I just took that out right here. And you can see, like, it is... Whew. Yeah, that's had the business put to her for sure. Let me see if I can just keep focus on that. Yeah, that's had the business put to her for sure. Absolutely. Now, it does check out at 100, almost dead on, like 99 point something ohms. And if I'm not mistaken, that is brown, black, brown, gold, 20%. But in circuit, when I start throwing voltage through it, does it keep? Does it stay at that? Look how burnt that is, right? And look how disgustingly bad that is. Let me turn that off. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? That. I mean, that is nasty. What I don't understand is what they were doing here. I mean, maybe that pad is, I mean, it is gone, right? But what they were thinking when they did whatever they did, this, I mean, it is, I'm sorry, it's fucked. But who knows if all that carbon buildup was adding to it. That is bad. I wonder if... Yeah, I'm going to have to search and see if I have something, same, 100 ohm, just like this. Right, that's in much better shape, and see if I can't... God, it's going to have to be just like that, because I'm going to need that much leg on one side. Unless I go from the bottom and jump it this way from here to here, and just bypass this nastiness and this nastiness and just go from here to here. But again, that's, I mean, that's not like a quarter watt or half watt. That looks like a full watt or 2 watt resistor. So let me go through and let me see what I got here so that we can repair this part for sure. This is definitely got to be cleaned up. Even if this isn't the issue, it's got to be dealt with. Okay, so I replaced this with a 100 microfarad, 400 volt. And I hate assuming this because I don't know who's been in here and who's done what, because obviously they have, because they wouldn't have had all these different flavors of caps, right? But if that was a 250 and that was a 200, those should be the exact same voltages. They should be. One shouldn't be less than the other. Now, was the original one 200 and somebody just threw a 200 and a 250? Sure, but I replaced this with a 400 just because that's what I had on hand and that was just the easiest to get to. Now, as for this, here's where that burnt 100 ohm resistor was, like this. So I found another one and I cleaned up this area, and this is where I located it because these pads were absolutely shot. I cleaned it all up, scraped back some of the solder mask here as well. Join them up. If you look at where these caps all are, they're all in this area right here. And a lot of it on the output come through, obviously, these caps right here. So I thought, well, might as well start right here. So what I'm going to do is, besides just changing that, and I'm just changing it just to make sure that we're at least up to snuff with this 250, even though they might have originally been 200s. If this is a 250, I'm going to assume that's what it was supposed to be, and this being a 200 is not enough, so whatever, let's do that. And changing that, but the main thing is changing that resistor to something that, you know, is not so burnt up. What do I do with it now? Now, I don't know exactly what the wattage is of this, but it's close to the same size. It's probably a little modern, so it's probably a little smaller than this, which is fine. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it all back together. I'll save you the trouble. If you want to see me put together a power supply, there's videos, other videos on my channel, but I'm going to get this all together. I'm going to do a quick test just to make sure we don't blow anything up. I know these are cheap. These are this and this are cheap, and this one being so close to here to that burnt up resistor, that's probably not up to snuff either. But I don't have 1,000 microfarad 25 volt on hand, so I'm gonna move it, or sorry, so I'm gonna leave it and move the resistor underneath, and hopefully not put so much heat on that. I mean, it's already had it. That's why this cap scares me, because I know obviously that resistor was so hot that it burnt, so which means it was pushing heat onto this cap too, and that's scary. That's going to dry up a cap easily. But if I continue to have issues, that's the next stage, is then I'll start here and replace this, and then, you know, go down the line and replace. Everything else seems to be in order. Everything else seems okay besides this, right? But everything else seems to be okay. So I'll be honest, I'm not confident. Not at all. Okay, it is up and running. Now, when I first plugged it in, I didn't get a boot. And I come over here to the power supply, and let me zoom in a little bit here. I was wondering why it wasn't booting. And I checked the power supply, and it said 5.1 on the power supply. Now, you should never just check the power supply. You got to check what voltage is going to the board, especially a board like this that has an auxiliary board, but also another auxiliary board, this board here, which is drawn off it. This is cranked literally to the max. Now at the board, I believe I'm only getting like 4.9. Give me 2 seconds here, and I will let me back this out. You probably won't be able to see much, but I'll put it just like that. You'll just have to listen to my voice. So on DC, checking at the board itself, I am, shit, I can't see anything. I am clocking, let's use this ground for shits and giggles sake. It says 5.2, but I don't believe it. So let me back that down just a little bit. That's my, what do you call it? That was my hang time talking there. Hang on here. So that's ground. Let's see if I can get this in the same way here. I probably won't be able to. So there's 5, and I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand. So give me 2 seconds here. Let me put that down. 5, and ground at the harness is 4.9 now. Yeah, see, so that's under 5. But me just turn it up just a little bit so I know I'm getting a good 5 volt at the port. If you check here, what I'm getting here, here at the power supply, this is going to be a little goofy. Let me back way out for you. Turn that off. Back way out for you. If I check at the power supply, which is going to be dark as hell, I won't be able to see a damn thing. At the power supply is giving out 5.63. I mean, that is cranked. So I don't know if maybe we need a power supply that is 5 volts at 15 amp, and that's what's causing the issue. But yeah, I mean, it's up and running now. It hasn't reset yet, but let me do some tests and see what happens here. I don't know what you're going to be able to see. I don't know what you're looking at, but again, right now at the board, I am getting around, sorry, what am I doing here? It's only because I can't see shit. 4.8. Oh, see, like it's just fluctuating all over the place. Yeah, I got a feeling that that is what the issue is. But no wonder that resistor was burnt, because it's cranked. And that's what's causing the issue. Now, when I first installed this board, this was an empty cab. When I first installed this, I was getting a good 5 volts, and I wasn't having an issue. It just got worse and worse over time. I got a feeling that it's this. This setup is asking for too much, and this is getting its ass kicked. Oh, that sucks. So I'm gonna let it run for a bit, see what happens. I still haven't gotten a reset. Like I said, before I started this, it was getting to the point where the soundboard wouldn't even bong, bong. It would start bong, and then it would just instant reset constantly. And it seems okay now, but yeah, that's not good. I got a feeling it's this. It's the amperage that it's putting out. It can't put it out enough. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so here's a good test that I like to do with this is, and this is literally, I just got up off the floor and walked this way. There's been no time in between. It's been literally sitting just like this the whole time. Just come down to volume, can adjust, and go into it. Now, the higher, let me go down here for a second just so you can hear me. The higher I go up in volume, it'll draw more and more from the power supply, right? So I noticed when this first started happening, I would get about here and I'd get a reset. And that's how it started becoming more and more of a problem. So let's just see what happens if I start creeping up past here. Let's just see what happens. I mean, I hope it doesn't, but okay, I would assume a reset, but here we go. Are we gonna get a reset here? Really? I almost thought we were definitely gonna get a reset there. Let's do that again. Actually, let's get out. Wow, I would assume a reset would come, and I mean, it would be instant. As soon as I broke that threshold right here, it'd be instant reset, because that has drawn a ton of amperage. Wow, okay. So maybe I cured it for now, but I don't trust it. I mean, like I said, I got that power supply literally cranked, and it should not be like that. I don't have to do that with my bench power supply. I don't have to crank my bench power supply when I have a midway board, like a NBA Jam, TE, or maximum hang time, or an MK1, an MK2, an MK3, None of the newer midway boards like Cruisin', Off-Road Challenge, none of that. I don't have any issue with this on that. But this, for some reason, does. So, okay, let me end this here. And if there's any kind of update to it, I am going to have to change out that power supply. I don't trust it. But if there's any update to it, I will, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so as for now, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.